Hey guys, it's Optimus Prime. I am back in another video, and today I'm going to be talking about everything from Bumblebee could be a financial failure to Hasbro's taking Chinese companies to court, and it looks like IDW might be in trouble. So sit back, relax, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and let's transform and roll out. Consider supporting the channel on Patreon. With your support, you can help us bring you more content like this. Okay, so I hope everybody had a safe and happy Merry Christmas. I spent time with my family. I got quite a bit of gifts from my family, and I'm pretty excited to share about some of it. I can show this picture here. I got the Terracon limbs. I still need hunger to complete Abominus. So I have, so now I have all of the Dinobots, and I got a nice, surprise with a Donkey Kong game that I am really excited to start playing. As far as volcanicus, this thing right here is a floppy mess, and I'm thinking about doing a review for it because I don't really care for it, at least in its combined form. Individual Dinobot modes are a whole other thing. But that being said, let's actually get to the actual Transformers news of the day. And there's been a lot of stuff that's been happening because I've been trying to work on my Transformers discussion videos, and yeah, it's just a lot of Transformers news. To start off with, Hasbro is taking 3 Chinese knockoff people, at one corporate entity and 2 individuals to court, and they won in judgment against Counterfeit for knockoff Transformers. And from what I've been told, and I don't collect knockoff Transformers, but I know a lot of people do, and I'm guessing that they were probably legit making straight up copies and selling them. So you were getting like counterfeit G1 reissues, counterfeit masterpiece toys, and they were selling either on Amazon or this place or that place, and I guess they got taken down. You can actually see the press release that Hasbro put out. They say, with strong support from various Chinese authorities, Hasbro has initiated many actions to enforce its intellectual property rights in China, and this is the latest in several criminal judgments against counterfeit Hasbro products issued by Chinese courts in recent years. So this is kind of crazy because, I don't know, this might end up being where they literally take out all knockoffs, or I think just knockoffs in general that are so close to the original that it's a legit copy. It's one thing when you're making a third-party toy and it's, a not Dinobots like the Dino King. I think that they, whatever the name of the toys are, people have made a Dinobot combiner, which is kind of appropriate that I had Volcanicus, because people have made third-party, combiners. I don't think they're going after those people. I think they're going after the people who've legit made copies. I could be wrong. I don't know the details. This is all that Hasbro has put out so far. And speaking of reissues, we now know that Hasbro is actually going ahead and bringing more G1 reissues to stores. I'm guessing it's going to continue to be Walmart exclusives, which is not something that is really welcome. A lot of people don't like the fact that they're Walmart exclusives. I'm one of them. My local Walmart stores suck. They never stock the Transformers that I'm looking for. I can never find anyone in particular. I go up and down 3 or 4 different Walmart stores in my area. I have to drive really, really far to some of them. And you never end up ever finding anything. The only thing that I've seen recently is there was a stack at one of them, and that's the furthest one away from me that I went to, had a bunch of hot rods. The rest had no G1 reissues, no Bumblebee or any of them on card, Starscream, and I really wanted Starscream. But that being said, Optimus Prime is getting a reissue next year, and it's going to be trailerless. You can see here in this picture, he is in his full G1 truck mode, but he's missing his trailer. To some people, that's actually kind of welcome because, I mean, I myself, I have a trailer, but you can see he's got his, it looks to be his original G1 fists, which is a good thing because the 2001 reissue and modified fists and the smokestacks are longer, which a lot of people complain about because the Optimus Prime reissue that I have has shorter smokestacks, the fists are modified, and it has the smaller version of his ion blaster. This is going to be coming with both versions. What sucks about this reissue is that he is going to be $49.99, or Walmart pricing is $49.97. It's crazy. Which I think it's Canadian is like $60, but in the US it's $50. And it sucks because that's really expensive for a G1 reissue Prime. It's just the cab. He's very, very small. But if he is die-cast, I guess that kind of works. I know a lot of people complain about Hot Rod being $30, and I did look up actual inflation value for what reissues would cost, you know, then and now. And Hot Rod was like $12 back in 1986, which if you actually, you know, adjust for inflation, is $30. So it's the same price. Transformers were expensive back in the 80s. They're expensive now. You know, it's an expensive hobby to continue to collect for. And, you know, if you're not careful, you know, you're going to have to make sure you pay your bills if you're in your 30s and 40s and 50s and still collect Transformers. If you're a kid, you have more, you know, you don't have as many bills that you have to worry about. It might be easier for you to get your hands on this, but I'm still excited. I still like the idea of Optimus being, you know, coming as far as a reissue is concerned. There was a fan vote on Hasbro's official, you know, Facebook and Instagram, and you were able to vote for who else they would reissue in 2020. And the winner for that vote was Astro Train. And what I'm curious about is whether or not they're going to do the original 1985 colors, which is the white space shuttle with as a purple space shuttle. Is he going to be black and white like the Japanese release? Or is he going to be a little bit more cartoon accurate and actually be in gray and darker purple to more match the animated series counterpart? And which is kind of goes with my triple changer video. But I'm kind of excited to see what they actually bring with Astro Train. I'm more so happy about Optimus Prime because, you know, I may just spend that $50 to go and get him if Walmart actually has him on the shelf. With that being said, talk about something else with Optimus Prime. With the live action films, it looks like that they are looking to do a prequel series that is an Optimus Prime origin movie. Lorenzo di Benaventura, don't like this guy, still wants to do this animated movie, but it doesn't look like he really cares about the true backstory of the character. They want to keep it in line with Michael Bay's films, and try to make an origin for that version of Optimus Prime. Maybe we can understand why he is so after everybody's faces. But from what the report actually says, we're actually looking at having an animated movie in the works that will tell the whole Cybertron mythology. The fans will love that. Kind of sounds really sarcastic, ask me. We're trying to figure out an Optimus Prime solo movie. It will be hard with Optimus. He's always right, very stoic, and is a man of few words. It is kind of like saying, let's do a movie about Obi-Wan Kenobi. But how much is there to say about Obi-Wan? It's not so easy. There's plenty to say about Optimus Prime. Go and watch the episode War Dawn. That is a great way to look at the origin of Prime, like from his early days of what he was doing. Go and, you know, maybe go ahead and read the IDW comics, you know, if you want to go and tell that version of the story. Personally, I'm more of a G1 cartoon fan, so I like that version where Orion Pax became Optimus Prime, and we can tell that story of, like, he's looking up to this gladiatorial, you know, guy who can fly in the sky, and he ends up meeting Megatron, and Megatron pretty much kills him. He gets rebuilt into Optimus Prime. That is the story of Optimus Prime, and it's a great story to tell if you know how to tell it, if you can get the right storytellers in place. The thing is, We're talking about big budget, movie studios that get their grubby little fingers on things that they don't understand, the franchise at all. Here's some history for you guys. When the 2007 movie was being made, they did not know anything about Transformers. Paramount apparently wanted the Transformers to just be this alien force coming and invading us, not this Autobots versus Decepticons. They just wanted all of them to be Decepticons, and it was the military that was going to end up fighting. So the story with Josh Duhamel and Tyrese Gibson's characters, they were the main characters in probably the original draft of the film, and then they realized, oh no, wait, we have to insert Autobots and Decepticons, so here's Sam Witwicky, and somehow it all will work out in the end. And this is probably the reason why the humans were able to destroy the Transformers, beat the Decepticons, where the Autobots couldn't. So, I don't have my hopes up for a movie like this, But then again, Bumblebee was a good movie. And speaking of Bumblebee, it's having a hard time at the box office. The actual box office report of the movie puts Bumblebee at second place at $52 million, both domestic and foreign, with $21 million here in the US and $31 million foreign. And it needs $337 million worldwide during its entire lifetime in order to be considered financially successful. So Bumblebee's hurting. And it's because people are like, well, Transformers The Last Knight sucked, and I don't really care about this prequel about Bumblebee. And even if people are saying it's good, people may or may not be going off and seeing it. The other thing is that it opened the same weekend as Mary Poppins and Aquaman. It put it in a lot of competition. It put it the same weekend as Christmas. Hard weekend to try and sell when you're that, bogged down by so many movies. So people might be going off and seeing it after the fact, and they're not taking in, I don't know if they're taking in the total for the special early screening from December 8th, because I know a lot of people saw it that weekend as well, and I'm really, really curious if they're taking that into account. So, or if they are, then wow, just not a lot of people went off and saw it. And I'm really curious. I mean, did anybody go and see it? I'm curious because I know a lot of people saw my reviews. I did the non-spoilers and then spoilers review, for it. And I enjoyed the film, and I see where it kind of can go in left or right when it comes down to a reboot or not a reboot. But the movie needs to do financially well in order for them to even consider doing another Transformers movie. Or this could be the end of the live-action film franchise just based upon the fact that nobody went off and saw this movie. But this movie actually is going to open up in more screens in other markets come, I think, January 4th. I think it starts to open up in other Asian markets and in other European markets. So maybe the film might do better. But here in the US, it's tanking. So we'll see. We'll see what people, if want to actually see Bumblebee, and we'll see if the Transformers franchise will still have a future. Speaking of having a difficult time having a future, IDW, we know that their current comic continuity came to a close. Some people were really happy about it, some people were really upset about it, and some people are like, I don't really care because I'd rather just see the movies or the cartoon or just collect the toys or only G1 or, because the Transformers fans are all over the place. But the IDW comics, came to a close with their continuity, and, a lot of it had to do with what happened with a particular G.I. Joe writer who said some really nasty comments that got a lot of fans really, really mad and upset. And then, of course, you had this other guy, Chris Ryall, who was looks like was trying to protect him, but ended up leaving and then coming back. And now he's come back to IDW, and he gives this open letter about, hey, we're going to be out there. Let's try and make some money. I see good things for the future. That's the only thing that I see out of his whole letter. But what their media outlet, what their press conference has said, is that, and as the company continues to leverage its intellectual property, IDW faces the need for production investment as well as additional infrastructure costs needed to manage operations for its growing slate of content and other operations. IDW Media anticipates the need for further funding, and the company is planning to raise capital from existing stockholders by the way of private placement memorandum that will include the offering terms. Now, I don't understand what that means because I'm not really into the stock market. What it sounds like to me is that they're hurting for capital, and, you know, I don't know if they're going to have the finances to be able to continue on with a whole bunch of brands, you know, as far as comic books is concerned. 2018 really was a really hurtful for the entire comic book industry. A lot of people aren't going off and reading comic books. They just rather wait for the cartoon or the the movies. And even those are kind of getting whittled down because you're only seeing 15-minute episodes out of certain cartoons. And you're seeing 2-hour movies instead of 2.5, 3-hour movies. And the budgets are down. So it's kind of interesting to see how the entertainment industry as a whole has shifted, and comics is suffering from it because, in my eyes, you don't have people at IDW to tell good stories. You're not going to be able to tell good stories that people want to read. People are not going to buy the book. They're not going to read your books. You're not going to make any money. So you've got to get people who want to tell good stories, not try to insert all of this, political jargon into it. Yes, Transformers already has some sort of politics when it comes down to Autobots versus Decepticons, a good guy versus a bad guy. But keep the stories simple, keep the stories good, keep people wanting to read your stories, and you'll sell more comics. More people will watch the cartoons. More people will see the movies. More people will buy the toys. And toys is where the money making is. So if you're not there to make toys, not going to get anywhere. I want to know what you guys think. What do you think of all this Transformers news? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Be sure to like and subscribe with this video. Check out my other videos as well. I have lots more Transformers discussion videos coming in the new year. I've got a lot of scripts that I've got to really work on, and they're going to be coming in the near future. I'm really excited about them. So as always, guys, until next time, till all are one.